Hi, so as the dad of 5 kids and author of that yellow book on the shelf back there and some other things on parenting, I'm sitting here looking at this whole Harambe gorilla shooting Cincinnati Zoo 3-year-old child thing. Maybe a little different. And all I'm asking is what can we learn from this, especially in parenting? Now, right now, there's a bit of an outrage because people think the parents are at fault. There's the possibility, of course, of the zoo being at fault. It could be the child was uh, an incorrigible little guy. There's a group working to make sure the gorilla is justified, that the parents are held responsible, they didn't have to shoot it. And it's quite a mess because it has all these moving parts in play. And so if you value a child's life or you value the gorilla's life a certain way, you're going to get caught in this debate. And I'm going to suggest that's not the way you want to think about it. In fact, what you want to do is think about what you can learn as a parent. So it's kind of simple. Fault. Fault is a combination of things. Most children, what, 20, 30 years, there have been 3 of these incidents ever. So apparently, not all children would want to try to go see a gorilla. So we have a child fault. Now they're 3 years old, so it's hard to blame them, will notwithstanding, but it's a moving part. There's also parents. Could they stop them, etc.? Make them behave? How'd they slip away? Why'd they get distracted? Should you have children on a leash? The zoo itself. Are there adequate barriers? Is that difficult to happen? What was the circumstance? And so when you look at this, you could even go back. Why don't we not have gorillas in captivity, and this wouldn't happen? You could also say if gorillas were extinct, this wouldn't happen. And I'm being what they call reductio ad absurdum, taking it to an extreme, but I'm doing it because this is the way these weird debates go. Everybody gets on their high horse and makes assumptions about things. To me, looks to me you could have hoped for the best, and if the child died, the zoo and the family would be in trouble for the child dying. If you shoot the child, the gorilla lives, but then you've killed the child. If you shoot the gorilla, then the child lives. You have a terrible tragedy with the gorilla. However, breed more gorillas, be in the process of learning from this so this kind of incident doesn't happen in the future. Don't let this event go without it being a learning lesson. So I get the uproar, but I don't care as much as I do about what we can learn. And it strikes me that what we can learn are kind of 3 simple things as parents. One is you ought to go ahead and teach your children the dangers that are in the world. A lot of times we want to protect them from the dangers, but we don't protect them from knowing about them. And so there are things that can happen that are dangerous. And it's good to let the kids know. Hey, second, you want to be wise. Now, wise or wisdom is about the results of choices we make. So it's like the dominoes falling. And when you think in terms of wisdom, you're going to look very carefully at situations and see how dangerous they are. That's why we tend to buckle children in. That's why we tend to go speed limit. That's why if you see a crazy person driving on the streets, you don't want to use your car to teach them a lesson. You want to get away from them. If you encounter situations where someone could fall or escape or get in, those are good situations to think about. If then, if then, if then, and look at those dominoes and just be wise. Be circumspect. Wake up as a mom and dad and just be aware of what's going on. But third, I would say we don't want to be irrationally afraid. Irrational fear, we run out in our heads and imagine the worst thing possible and then over control and oppress our children is not at all good parenting because it's not good preparation for life. Look, I know there are things to be scared of, but let's be scared of the actuals. Again, this event is a bit of a one-off. It's incredibly rare. And when you take a rare event and start retooling everything on the planet so that rare event doesn't happen, it gets weird. If you have a factory and you have one bad bolt pop out and you retool the factory, you'll mess up everything. Now, I think the zoo needs to look at this carefully. And I think moms and dads, and we can go through all that. But look, I'm just sharing with you that things happen that are difficult in this world. There are going to be many tragedies, many struggles. You're going to go through things in your life, and your children are going to watch how you handle that. And your children are going to go through things in life, and they're going to watch how you encourage them to handle that. You know, we hear on occasion of people who kind of enslave other people, keep them locked, maybe even children, in closets and in downstairs areas, chained and horribly mistreated. But you know, if you actually raise children to be so afraid of going outside, so afraid of adventure, so afraid of trying something new, that in a way is sort of an emotional type chaining. I think the lesson we can take from this is tough things happen. Let's be wise. Let's not be irrationally fearful. And let's teach our kids to be adventurous, but appropriately cautious themselves, because it's a real world with some dangers out there.